When it comes to cutter heads, let's be direct. Gyro-Trac cutter heads cost more than our competitors. That will most likely cause you to ask, why would I buy your cutter head for that much more money? The answer is simple: productivity and the finished product. When it comes to productivity, I have personally had contractors tell me they believe our heads are as much as 4 times more productive than carbide tip hammer tooth heads. Whether that's the case or not, Gyro-Trac cutter heads will, on average, outproduce the competition at least 2 to 1 on the same tractor and burn up to 1/3 less fuel. Keep in mind, the most dramatic difference is on harder, larger trees. In small, soft material, other than the quality of the mulch, you might see little difference in speed. When demonstrating the 500 HF cutter head to a prospective dealer, after a half-day's testing, the first comment was he didn't see any difference between Gyro-Trac and his old hammer tooth model. The next day he remembered a hardwood tree lying in the back lot of the dealership that he tried to mulch with his hammer tooth cutter head. He decided to try the Gyro-Trac on it, expecting it to smoke and skip off the petrified hardwood like his hammer tooth cutter head did. After a few minutes, the tree was gone, nothing but small mulch left. He was convinced. In fact, it was this gentleman that later discovered the fuel savings while using a 500 HF cutter head on the same tractor he used to use with a hammer tooth head. I had another opportunity of attending a head-to-head competition put on by a state forestry department in the southeast. One of our 500 HF high-flow cutter heads on a 100 horsepower Posi-Trac RC100 went against a 120 horsepower competitor's tractor. The test site was covered with small palm trees. There were close to 40 state and federal foresters and media at this competition, and they witnessed a 100 horsepower tractor with a Gyro-Trac 500 HF high-flow cutter head mulch through these palms as easy as small brush, while the 120 horsepower competitor moved much slower and at times would clog up and bog down in the sinuous, gummy palm material. Now, how does Gyro-Trac accomplish this competitive advantage? First, the Gyro-Trac drum is lighter and recovers faster, even on an open-loop hydraulic system. This increases work time. The spiral design creates a vacuum effect, drawing material into the drum, and all the cutting energy is focused on one tooth at a time. With the controlled bite, less energy is required, the RPMs stay up, fuel consumption goes down, and vibration is minimized, so operator comfort is greatly enhanced. All this with less wear and tear on the machine. The bottom line, you'd have to buy 2 tractors, 2 competitive carbide tipped hammer tooth cutter heads, have 2 operators, and have 2 support systems with trucks, trailers, and the like to equal the productivity of one Gyro-Trac cutter head on the same tractor model. And since a Gyro-Trac head can cause up to 1/3 less fuel burned on the same tractor, you may need up to 3 times the amount of fuel with 2 competitive tractors and cutter heads. The quality of the finished product is a huge benefit. Gyro-Trac leaves an aesthetically pleasing mulch behind that is small, giving the property a park-like effect. The value of raw land generally goes up the moment a Gyro-Trac finishes. Gyro-Trac's mulch rapidly biodegrades, putting nutrients back into the soil faster, and the quality of the mulch generates brand requests for more work. Doesn't it just make sense to buy a Gyro-Trac cutter head?